Good morning. Welcome to the class of 2023 graduation ceremony. I also want to personally thank all the parents out there who gave me a lot of feedback on whether we're going to have graduation this morning, so I really appreciate that. But my name is Gary Dempsey, and I'm honored to be the principal of these amazing students you see before you. At this time, I'd like to invite Senior Executive Council member Rose Kachusik and Natalie Smith to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Rose and Natalie. I would now like to invite the senior music students to perform our national anthem. Just follow the students. They know what they're doing.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
At this time, I would ask the marshals to please seat the class. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to introduce our honored guests who are here, and I'm going to do them in groups. So first it's going to be the John Stark School Board if we wait until that group is over. So the John Stark School Board, Miss Wendy Curry, Miss Jill Dejanay, Mr. Zach Lawson, Mr. James Newcomb, and Miss Deb Urbatus. If they can stand up, please. Thank them for everything they do for our kids. Thank you. The next group is our administrators from the SAU 24. Dr. Jacqueline Coe, Superintendent of Schools. Ms. Natasha Colminen, Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Ms. Martha LeMahieu, Director of Student Services. Mr. Chris Roy, our business manager, and Mr. Lee Dupre, our director of technology. Thank you for everything you do. Next, we have our John Stark administration. And I was going to embarrass him, but tomorrow's his birthday. We were going to sing it today, but we won't. But Mr. Brian Emery, assistant principal. Happy birthday, Mr. Emery. Miss Beth Dooley, assistant principal. Dr. Andra Hall, director of student services. Miss Tiffany Smith, our director of student pathways. And somewhere around here is Mr. Rodney Brown, our athletic administrator. We thank you for everything you do for the students of John Stark. I'd also like to recognize 3 members of the staff who are retiring this year. I'm not sure, some of them may not be here, but paraprofessional Miss Rose Gilman, she's not here, but we wish her well. Teacher Miss Bob Annette, and I think Miss Kirschbaum's here, but Miss Michelle Kirschbaum will be retiring this year. There she is. Thank you for your dedication to the students of this community. The class of 2023 has a special place in my heart. We started our John Stark journey together 4 years ago. We dealt with new traditions and systems that we had no idea about. Like the time I asked Mr. Emery, the first day of school, when I was the new principal, I'm like, all right, who's doing lunch duty? And he looked at me and goes, no, we don't assign staff to lunch duty. We just eat lunch with the students. I'm like, okay. So that was really new to me because I came from schools that all hands were on deck at lunch duty, and here it's just not the way it is. And that's what I love about this place. Many things were new to us. As a class, we all started to get into a groove. Then we had this global health crisis and had to learn through a computer. Things were very weird at that time. I would read the pledge to students through Zoom, had meetings with students on the computer, and we even did a pizza pickup event so we could actually see kids. Then we had to deal with the numerous schedule changes and how we could socially distance, which is contrary to what we were all taught as teachers. But through it all, this class demonstrated no matter what was thrown at them, they will persevere. Let me give you some data points of the class of 2023. On Tuesday night, this community donated $111,000 in scholarships to help these students achieve their goal. On behalf of the students, we thank the community for everything you do for them. Students, if you want a scholarship, if you could please stand at this time. If you want a scholarship on Tuesday night, please stand. And congratulations. You can be seated now. Thank you. The class of 2023 has been awarded 195 college credits. The class GPA, I wonder, does anyone have any guesses? Any guess on what the class GPA is? 3.53, which is really good. 89 students have selected to continue their educational pathway in a 2 or a 4-year institution. Some of our students have learned and have achieved an alternative diploma. We have 4 students who have achieved Eagle Scout status. I've been doing this a long time. Usually you have 1 per class. On a good year, 2. We have 4. That's amazing. Congratulations to them. What these numbers show us is John Stark's commitment to finding each and every student's educational pathway. Whether you're going to college, entering the workforce, or taking a gap year, we celebrate all of you today, and congratulations. At this time, I'm going to ask the following students to please stand and remain standing until I tell you to sit. You're going to have to get used to obeying orders. Maxine Dion, Air Force. Remain standing. You'll get used to it. Cadet Corner, Army National Guard. Ruby Dykstra, Army ROTC. We live in a complex world, and these young individuals have committed to protecting our way of life. So on behalf of the entire John Stark community, I want to thank you, wish you well, and as part of the community, I always like to give them a round of applause because they're committed to helping us. So. So this is my last message to the class. After this ceremony today, you will all go your separate ways. Some of you will follow your path but stay in the area. Some of you have chosen a path that will take you far away. Please remember that you are always a general, and this community will always be your home. And I wish you well. Thank you. Please join me in welcoming seniors Ruby Dyksher and Aubrey Fisher for the introductory remarks and presentation of the class gift.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the graduation of the class of 2023. First, we would like to congratulate the class of 2023. We would also like to thank all of our parents, teachers, staff, coaches, and friends who've supported us along the way. Thank you to administration for all of the support these past 4 years. Thank you to Ms. Anderson for planning this graduation, and thank you to Building and Grounds for all of your hard work. We appreciate everyone and everything that you do for us. Finally, we would like to thank the class of 2023 for all the memories throughout the past years.
We would also like to introduce our class gift. This year we had many ideas, from trees to bells to flags, but we have decided to add flags and decals to the golf carts to improve them. These will have the John Stark logo on them to add some pride to them.
There's one other thank you that I have to say. The tradition of the John Stark Cannon began over 30 years ago when Robert Hatfield and Edward Clucci came up with the idea as a way to celebrate our seniors. Robert's son John has maintained his father's legacy by firing off the cannon to commemorate our seniors' achievements. On behalf of the John Stark community, we would like to thank Robert and John Hatfield, as well as Edward Clucci, for their time and effort to support this in our graduation, and what a wonderful tradition it is. So thank you for that. Three years ago, a new tradition started, and that was for the faculty and staff to select a senior who best exemplifies the John Stark way, which is regard, respect, and integrity. Please join me in welcoming Braden Scow to the stage to address the class.
Hi. Students and staff of John Stark, I stand here today at the end of my journey with you, a journey that I am proud to have taken and a journey I'll never forget. These past 4 years have been unusual to say the least, but in those 4 years I have learned countless lessons that I'm better for having learned. I'd like to share with you the lesson I feel has impacted me the most. To live my truth and to be unapologetically myself. Changing who you are to fit someone else's standards is not a way to live your life. I used to live that life, surrounding myself with people who wouldn't like me if I didn't keep up appearances. It's like choosing between apples and oranges. On the one hand, everyone you know likes apples, and so naturally you try to follow suit, even though you don't really like the flavor. On the other hand, you love oranges, but nobody else does. Why would you force yourself to endure the apple when you'd much rather have the orange you know you'd love? The answer there lies in confidence. Confidence in yourself to break the norm and be different, and confidence in those around you to not shun you for it. Find yourself and then find a crowd who loves you with no strings attached. Shout out to Mrs. Kirschbaum for being an excellent model of that throughout the years, and congratulations on your final year with us. Thank you for teaching me English during sophomore year and for always having time for a chat whenever I saw you. Thank you, John Stark. Good luck with whatever it is you decide to do.
It's kind of symbolic when the students start their speech, the sun comes out. That's great. Next, I'd like to congratulate and welcome to the stage class salutatorian, Samantha Vayu.
Good morning, friends and family, teachers, faculty, and most importantly, the class of 2023. It's an honor to be here speaking to and graduating with all of you. As honored as I am to be here, I know the part we've all been looking forward to is walking across the stage and getting our diplomas, so I'll do my best to keep it short and sweet. Everyone tells you that high school goes by fast. They say it'll be over before you know it, or enjoy it because it goes by in a flash. But that's not entirely the truth. In some ways, it does go by fast. But a lot of the time, most of the time, it goes by slow. Classes seem to take hours, the days drag on, and 4 years feel like they will never end. In fact, I bet you that every one of us has sat in class at some point thinking, I can't wait for high school to be over, or I just want to graduate. But now we're here, we're graduating, and all the slow classes, days, and years are over. That part of our lives has come to a close. Knowing this, and looking back on the past 4 years, I realized something. There's no other way I would have wanted these years to go, because it was within the slow classes, days, and years that the best memories were made. It was within these times that we attended our first pep rally, and then our second 3 years later. It was within these times that we played our first and last games, sang or played our first and last songs, or performed in our first and last plays. It was within these times that we went to homecoming, HOCO 2.0, and prom. And finally, it was within these times that we celebrated, laughed, and now graduate together. If it weren't for the slow classes, days, and years, none of these memories would have been made. So it is because of this that I can confidently say, I'm glad high school went by slow. I'm glad classes seemed to take hours. I'm glad the days dragged on, and I'm glad the last 4 years felt like they would never end. Because in the end, it was because of these slow times that the best memories were made. And no matter how many different directions we all might go after this, it will have been these classes, days, and years that have tied us together forever. Thank you.
Now I'd like to congratulate and welcome to the stage your class valedictorian, Miss Jacqueline O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. Dempsey, for the introduction. I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who has helped us to succeed, whether that be parents, teachers, coaches, mentors, employers, or friends, and to say congratulations to all my fellow graduates. We have all worked hard during our time here and have made it to a big milestone in our lives. The question is, where do we go now? How can we learn from our own mistakes and achievements and from those of the people around us? Because everything is an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to do better in the future. My hope for all of us is that we keep learning, but especially keep growing as people. I think as a class, we still have a lot of growing up to do, but now we get to go into new communities and decide what we want our impact to be. Our class has an opportunity to have an amazing impact on the world, like that of so many people before us. Some of my role models are scientists who have brought us or are currently working towards revolutionary advancements. They have overcome barriers in science, but also in life. And their actions demonstrate many ideals that are important to me and hopefully to all of you. Tiara Fletcher is an aerospace engineer who, when she was just a college senior, was helping NASA work on one of their most powerful rockets. She didn't let her age stop her from making an impact or going after what she wanted, and made great contributions because of that. So be like Tiara Fletcher and pursue your goals no matter what. Don't let a limiting factor define you, whether it be age, gender, socioeconomic status, or anything else. Be confident that you have something to offer the world. Alexander Fleming made the discovery of penicillin by accident. He was studying bacteria and left a petri dish uncovered next to a window. It grew mold, but rather than throwing the dish away due to his mistake, he noticed the bacteria around the mold was dying. He named this mold penicillin, and it became the first antibiotic. So be like Alexander Fleming. Be observant and learn from your mistakes. If you look for opportunities to learn, you will, because a mistake can be just as valuable as a success. Jane Goodall studied chimpanzees in their natural habitat and worked to protect them. In order to gain their trust, she mimicked them. This allowed her to really get to know the chimps and learn about them. She showed them kindness, and they, in turn, let her in, allowing her to gain some of the most valuable information about evolution, as well as show why natural habitats need to be protected. So be like Jane Goodall and choose to be kind and empathetic. If you put your best foot forward in every interaction and approach situations with compassion, it could bring you very far in life. Doris Taylor is a scientist who is working towards a manufactured heart that will be used instead of donor transplants. Taylor was kicked out of college for being gay, but she stayed herself and found another path to her education, and she is now doing revolutionary and necessary work. So be like Doris Taylor and stay true to yourself. Recognize that if you exclude someone for their identity, it is really you who are missing out. Rachel Carson was a marine biologist and conservationist. She wrote Silent Spring, a book about the harm caused by excessive use of pesticides. After this book, many opposed her position and attacked her personally. She was accused of being radical, disloyal, emotional, unscientific, and more. Even though her work faced criticism, it also had a big impact, as later the Environmental Protection Agency was formed, and DDT, a dangerous pesticide, was banned for domestic use. So be like Rachel Carson and stand behind what matters to you. Be willing to listen and change your stance, but don't let criticism deter you from pursuing what is important to you. Ideally, we will emulate the best traits of all our role models and improve the new communities we are entering, whether that be a college campus, a workplace, the military, or anywhere else we've chosen to go. My hope is we will choose to be kinder, more inclusive, more engaged, more observant, and more ourselves each and every day moving forward. Thank you.
We have great kids, don't we? I'd like to invite the John Stark Chorus and Band to perform their last song.
Guys, I love this song. Yeah, me too. This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Life's like a road that you travel on when it's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where the blues won't haunt you anymore. Where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today, yeah.
Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive it all night long. Through all these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I loved you then. This is the road and these are the hands. From Mozambique to those Memphis nights.
Great job. Life is a highway, but we have some people that help us run down that highway. And there are two groups I'd like to point out. First of all, if you are a staff, faculty, any staff of John Stark, if you can please stand up, all staff. All these individuals have committed their life to helping kids. So I just want to say thank you for everything you do for our kids. Also, when the seniors leave, in back are going to be gift bags. There was a parent group that got together. I think we started in January planning for this. So if you were part of that parent group that helped plan for these gifts, if you could stand up so that the class can thank you. If you can now join me in welcoming School Board Chair Mr. Zach Lawson and Superintendent of Schools Dr. Jacqueline Coe to the stage for some brief remarks and to certify the diplomas.
Good morning. My job today is to certify to the school board that you all have done what you needed to do to graduate. Actually, that's my job outside of today, too, to get you, the students, the things that you need to get to this point. But you did the work. You did the papers, you did the capstones, you did the assessments and the reassessments, and you did that with the support of your teachers and your families. I hope that you take a moment over the next couple days to say thank you to those key support people in your lives. While I am certifying that you demonstrated all of the required academic competencies, I also want to recognize all of the other challenges you faced over your time at John Stark. The collective ones, like the pandemic, and your own individual experiences. How you handled these challenges defined your paths at John Stark. Did you just go with the rain? And what you learned from these challenges will define your next steps forward. I can certify that you have a whole football field of people who are proud of you and here to support you in your next steps. And so with that, Chairman Lawson, I certify that the class of 2023 has met all the requirements to get their diplomas.
So that's great news. I'm glad to hear that. If it's good for Principal Dempsey and good for you, Dr. Coe, then I guess I'm going to have to go with it. So that's great. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm glad that the rain appears to just be very brief, and it'll be on its way in a moment. Gary, Jackie, everybody involved in everyday life up here at John Stark, thank you again for another great year. I'm always really thrilled to be up here, seeing everybody out and involved in the community and celebrating our seniors as they move on from their high school careers here at John Stark. I'd also like to thank, I've got 4 seniors here that I had the pleasure of working with this spring, and that's Becca, Emma, Riley, Connor. Thank you guys for an awesome spring. I really appreciate the time that we got to spend together. It's one of those things that, you know, when you spend a lot of time coaching a team, spending an entire spring with not just these 4, but upwards of 30 girls, all from completely different walks of life, focusing on completely different things, likely heading into completely different directions after high school, getting organized and being on the same page and operating as a team is a really awesome thing to see. I know some of you know that already, some of you have been experiencing that, but I just wanted to share my gratitude for being part of that this year. I really appreciate it. I'm just going to say very briefly something that I wanted to share with this senior class. It's a very important thing that sort of I've stumbled into this year, and it's based on a work by a guy named Tim Urban. I know some members of the school board are like, oh boy, not this again. But it's from a book called What's Our Problem? And you know, one of the things that we talk about on the school board increasingly is this idea of belonging, okay? And part of the idea of belonging is, as Tim describes it, and I'm saying this for you, Colin, thanks for being here, there's two axes, okay, right? There's a horizontal axis, which is sort of what you know. This is where your political beliefs are. This is where your religious beliefs may be. This is maybe the sports team that you root for, okay? On the vertical axis is how you think. And one of the things that I think has bothered me, one of the things that I keep talking about with anybody who will listen to me about this is the higher you are on this vertical axis of how you think is where you want to be. And I can't be perfect all the time. It's actually really easy to be there if you're in agreement with the people you're all around, but it's really hard to be there when you disagree with the people that you're all around. So the main purpose or the main idea of thinking of the world along these two things is if you find yourself opposed to somebody's ideas, sort of in the how you think sort of space, right? Really check where you are on this vertical axis. If you're low down on this vertical axis and you wish they'd just stop talking or you walk away, I guarantee that's not the best way to handle that and sort of push that idea of belonging and acceptance and moving forward. The higher you are on this vertical axis, the better it is for literally everybody. And I hope that jives with some of the other things you've heard from the students here today. I really hope that that is meaningful for you. One of the best ways to think about it, I think, is you can be a sports fan on this vertical axis. This is something that Tim Urban talks about, and it's higher up. It means that you are rooting for a particular ideology or a particular way of thinking. But it doesn't mean that you can't understand why your idea loses or why your idea doesn't work out in the long run. So just keep that in mind. Think about what you think is based first on how you think and carry that stuff forward. So with that, I know you guys are ready to move on with the rest of this, so let's do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to introduce the senior class of John Stark Regional High School. Stand right here, okay?
Marshals, if you could prepare the class of 2023 to receive their diplomas.
Edward Richard Ackerley IV. Peter Adamo. Robert Douglas Arnold. Xavier Aislinn. Lauren Elizabeth Ballou. Jackson Choi Barnes. Liam Francis Bean. Jada Faye Bolio. Zoe Lee Bergeron. Seth Payne Bowden. Grace Rose Bomar. Julia Rose Brigaman. Kira Ann Brigaman. Alexander Jean Brown. Joshua Robert Brown. You really want that bag on for your picture? All right. Amethyst Sky Burdick. Liam James Burgess. That's why I ask. Landon James Carbone. Aiden Jeffrey Cardwell. Percy Roger Carson. Emma Grace Kate. Amanda Estelle Champagne. Sergio Alberto Chavez. Cameron Cretion. Aiden Sean Combs. Helen Catherine Connor. Aww. Benjamin Lee Cooper. Annalie M. Kubro. Luke David Kucher. Courtney Morgan Cranshaw. What decide to do better? Jackson Charles Davis. Riley Elizabeth Davis. Maxine May Dion. Emma Suzanne Dobbins. Cassidy Linda Downing. Rebecca Lynn Drabble. Kayleen Drake. Vincent James Dralis. Cameron John Durack. Christopher David Dustin. Ruby Sue Dykstra. Kaylin Delaney Earl. Quentin Richard Farrow. Aubrey Rose Fisher. Reagan Elizabeth Fisher. Sean Harley Lucas Fitz. No, sorry. Lucas Sean Harley Fitz. My mistake. My apologies, Lucas. That's right. We're going to stay after and practice that some more. Katie Ann Forrestal. Grace Elizabeth Frary. Daniel Scott Gagney. Haley Christine Gagnon. Molly Shay Gamache. Hold up. In absentia, Michael Gardner. Caden Melissa Gauthier. In absentia, Jack Gawthorpe. Brandon Goodwin. Braden Russell Graham. Logan Dennis Grant. Adriana Alexis Grenier. Dylan Scott Grivois. Sarah Madison Gilmet. Benjamin Halley. Carly Alexis Harder. Olivia Lee Hargraves. Erica Healy. Well done, row 3, row 5. Natalie Lynn Hebert. Laja Mahal Hino. David Joseph Hool. Emma Huddleston. Caden Scott Hunter. Mia Lynn Hutchison. Jennifer Rose Jezerski. Aiden William Johnson. Kaylee Teresa Johnson. Rose Paulina Koschusik. James Quinn LaRue. Madison Page LaFleur. Miles Scott Lanier. Camden Lewis LaPointe. Molly LeBrun. Cheyenne Marie Ledger. Elijah Lemire. Jonathan Caleb Levesque. It's like they never practiced. Bogart Bulmaro Lopez Finet. Alexis Ariana Mandrino. Dominic Arthur Massaro. Mason. Jeremy James Mason. Sophia Isabel McGinty. Caitlin Rose McKillop. Megan Marie Mefford. Haley Noel Michaud. Adam Christopher Morissette. Alexander David Nevins. Hayden Frederick Nunley. Daniel Owen O'Brien. Jacqueline Taylor O'Donnell. Madison Grace O'Donnell. Sydney Claire Olson. You guys are all going again. Madison Emma Pacheco. Emma Rose Parents. Madeline Jean Parker. In absentia, Daniel Parker Patnode. Samuel Adams Patnode. Peyton Pelletier. Nathaniel Edward Peters. Caitlin Marie Pinter. Sophia Jacqueline Pollard. Madison Page Porth. Benjamin Savage Prescott. Jonathan Isaac Purdue. Andrew Joseph Raskett. Ryan Clinton Redmond. Savannah Redmond. Lydia June Richmond. Jack Wyatt Reese. Candace Marie Rinker. Isabella Joanne Rouse. Megan Marie Russo. Aaron Ainsley Ruddock. Braden Thomas Scow. Liam Patrick Skolage. Natalie Lynn Smith. Wyatt Nathan Soul. Gabrielle Elizabeth Souther. Griffin Donald Spring. Brooke Donovan Sterling. Zoe Summer Tadlock. Ariana Marie Tovar. Hillary Kate Toll. Folks, I'll take just a minute to remind you that at the conclusion, after all the graduates have gone through, there will be cannon fire, and it will be loud. Abe Whidden Toomey. Samantha Francis Vayu. Phoebe Marie Walsh. Athena Marie Warren Foote. Ava Juliet Weeks. Alexis Mackenzie Wheeler. Travis Allen Wiggin. Alexander Michael Wilber. Hannah Autumn Wing. Brighton Chaos Winter. And so now, at this time, it is my great honor to introduce the graduates of John Stark Regional High School, class of 2023.
Congratulations, Alexx. You graduated from high school, and it was a long battle uphill, but you did it. You did it. You buckled down and got the work done, and I am so proud of you. I love you there, man, and you're really grown up to be an awesome dude. I am so proud of you. Congratulations.